What a wild week for the stock market, the apes, and the nation's foundation. Wall Street and the financial media, well, they seem to be caught a little flat-footed when AMC and these other Reddit investor favorites took off like rockets. In fact, some went past the moon. They still don't get it, that this is not about the chat rooms of the 90s, and it's not about the tulip bubble. I knew this early in the year, and I said on more than one occasion that the revolution is real and it's not over. The point is the narrative that these names were doomed. Also we remember that was Best Buy not long ago. And of course, eventually, all of these folks who believed in this doom scenario lost $60 billion shorting Tesla. So the GameStop Revolution has new investors excited about taking charge of their financial independence. But while most of the financial media is dancing on the would-be graves of Robinhood traders, I think this is just the beginning of a revolution, and most will become more determined to make money in the stock market. Now, this movement scares the hell out of both political parties because the more regular folks from lower income brackets get involved, the harder it is to really sell them on things like higher minimum wage as a magic elixir to even the score. Despite it being declared over by the financial media, this GameStop saga is far from over. Now, if nothing else, the story has motivated the retail investor like never before. In the aftermath of the GameStop hearings last week, there seems to be this urge in the financial community to put the whole episode in the rearview mirror. That narrative has always been widely off the mark and willfully ignores the dynamics of the retail investor revolution, including the fact that it is here to stay. And folks, I continue to root for these investors, and I think they can change the game and make it a more democratized for everybody. Just democratize this whole system. Now, they will have to endure being called dumb, even when they make 3,000% on a trade. Ironically, by a lot of folks who never managed any money, not a nickel, or did anything professional with respect to real-life investment advice. Meanwhile, I want to talk about these jobs because when I was growing up, finding a job was like hitting the lottery. I mean, when I arrived in New York with my mom and my two brothers, we were penniless. I was the oldest. I was thrusted into this role of breadwinner at age 13. I did anything legal to make money, but you know, hustling is inconsistent, it's dangerous, and it's very exhausting. I did get a job at a bodega, but then the owner sold and he moved away. I did at job fairs, all kinds of gatherings, and I can tell you, people were so desperate, hoping for anything. I remember one time there was a city job program. Hundreds of people showed up, including me. We got stuck outside the building. Tippers flared. The police showed up on horseback. It was such an intense situation. So when I graduated from high school, I took and passed the test to join the U.S. Air Force. Here's the thing. I had a 5-month delay. I saw an ad at McDonald's. They were hiring. I went down to apply. 300 people showed up for just 3 jobs. It was another one of those scenes that you could see faces riddled with anxiety, everyone desperately hoping they would be picked. The franchise owner, a couple of managers, they began the process of interviewing people. And what they did is they whittled down the pack. They kept re-interviewing, and the survivors became smaller and smaller. 5 rounds. After the first round, though, folks, the owner kind of came over to me and said, listen, go sit over there because you're hired. Now, I'm not sure what I said to be picked immediately, but I can tell you I was grateful. I worked hard. I came in on my days off. They would call me on a Saturday. I would come in no matter what. It was an hour train ride. I did not care. I was just grateful to have a job. So I never thought about how little I was making. I took my first check. I bought myself a tiny gold cross, and I thank God every day for answering my prayers and the prayers of my family. So I can tell you right now, this whole era of chilling out, even when there are great jobs out there, is extraordinarily dangerous for this entire country, particularly if you're unskilled. Take those jobs, folks. Learn the job. Get rewarded. Climb the ladder of success. America was built on it. Let's not dismantle it right now.